year before Settlers of Catan won the Spiel des Jahres and began its meteoric rise to fame, kickstarting the board game boom, Andreas Seyfarth of Puerto Rico fame released his own STJ winning game. I'm Steve Tassi, the board game guru, and I'm here to tell you about one of the most cutthroat light strategy games you will ever play, Manhattan. The original edition of Manhattan from German publisher Hans im Glück won the STJ for a reason. It is simple to learn, it's a strategic masterpiece of area control and hand management. It's also a vicious, stab your friends right in the face sort of gaming experience. The downsides to it were that it was out of print for very many years, and it was hideously ugly. A few years ago, Foxmind Games fixed both these problems by reprinting it in a beautiful, brightly colored edition. When some companies release reprints of old games, they often tinker with the rules, sometimes for the better, sometimes not. But Foxmind was smart. They didn't change anything but the look of the game. Gone are the dour gray board and cards and the baffling color choices of the original. In their place is a brightly colored board depicting skyscrapers soaring out of various natural landscapes, vibrant cards depicting yuppies doing yuppie things, and translucent Jolly Rancher looking player pieces. While the game is now more pleasing to look at, I must admit that the mid-90s German brutalist aesthetic of the original did convey the theme of the game in a way that the new candy-colored reprint just doesn't. But enough about aesthetics, let's talk gameplay. Players are real estate developers trying to build more and more ever taller towers throughout the 6 cities on the board. Each city has 9 different blocks to build in, and players score points for how many buildings they own, how many cities they have majority control over, and for having the tallest tower in the world. Players' pieces are floors of buildings. They come in 1, 2, 3, and 4-story sizes. At the beginning of a round, each player secretly picks 6 of their 24 building pieces to use. When all players have used all 6 of their selected pieces, the round is over and the board is scored. After 4 scoring rounds, the game is done and the player with the highest score wins. On your turn, you play a card from your hand of 3 and place a building piece on the board. You pick which city to build in, but the card you play determines which of the 9 blocks in that city you get to build on. Each player sits at one edge of the board, and the cards are played from your perspective on the board. So the same card played by 2 different players will lead to building on different blocks, even if they picked the same city. Building on an empty space can be done with any size piece from a player's selection. But if you want to build onto an existing tower, you will need to use a big enough piece. And if you don't have one, you will need to build somewhere else. A tower is owned by whoever played the top piece on the building. If you want to add to someone else's tower, thus taking ownership of it, you must play a piece that gives you as many floors in the tower as the current owner has. Example: if the owner of the building has 3 stories in it and you have none, you will need to play a 3 or a 4-story piece on top. But if you already have 2 floors in that building, all you need is a single-story piece to take control of the building back from the other player. After you play your card and add your piece to the board, draw a new card. If you forget to draw a new card and the player who goes after you draws their replacement card, you are out of luck and do not get to refill your hand until the end of the current round and the board gets scored. Trust me, you will forget to draw at least once the first time you play this game. In addition to scoring 1 point for each tower you own, when it's time to score the board, if you own more towers in a city than anyone else does, you get 2 points for controlling that city, and there is also a 3-point bonus for the player who owns the single tallest building in the world. If there is a tie for tallest building, nobody gets that bonus. Who is Manhattan for? The game is billed as a 2 to 4 player game, but like euchre or mahjong, don't bother playing it with anything but 4 players. It just won't be as satisfying. It is for players who are looking for a game that doesn't have a complex set of rules, has luck, that's the drawing cards, but has mitigation of the luck. You've got a 3-card hand to choose from and 6 different cities to pick from when playing that card. It's definitely for people who want a competitive game. Players will often gang up against the leader, but it isn't a game of cooperation and alliances. Any deals you may strike are fragile and will collapse at the moment that it is beneficial to renege on a deal. Not all Spiel des Jahres winning games are made equal, but Manhattan is a worthy addition to any gamer's collection, whether you are new to the hobby or have hundreds of games on your shelves. I'm Steve Tassi, the Board Game Guru. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy Manhattan.